Hey guys, so I'm back with another quick video. So I don't know about you guys, but I have been really rethinking how I pack my professional makeup artist kit. I'm really trying to downsize. I'm trying to sanitize, trying to make it safer for myself and my clients. And a lot of that means like doing smaller portions, having everything kind of like covered up so it's protected from exposure to coronavirus. So I'm going to depot a couple of palettes just because I want all of my eyeshadows consolidated in just a few palettes so I can put them all in one kind of makeup bag so they're all nice and together and tight and not falling all over the place. And I haven't departed in a really long time. I have like a million departing videos, which I'll link below, different kinds of departing, but I thought I'd do an updated one. Hopefully I'm not rusty, but basically I'm going to show you how I use a flat iron, the flat iron method, and I'm using a Z palette. There are also a lot of magnetic palettes out there, other ones. If you go on Amazon, you'll find a bunch. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm actually doing this on my floor right now. Okay, so this is my flat iron. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. I have here, I'm just putting down like a little makeup bag so that way I don't get everything dirty. But I'm doing this on my tile floor so nothing kind of will burn if you don't do this on carpet. So I'm going to depot hopefully these three palettes into this one. So I have an X-Acto knife. This is an Urban Decay individual eyeshadow as well. But this one is a little bit different because it's in a compact. So I'll show you how to get that out. So a couple of different ones. This is a plastic palette. And then we also have some cardboard palettes. Okay, so this is the MTZ palette. I actually prefer black ones, but I had this extra one lying around. But this part is magnetic. The back of these pans, some of them are aluminum, which don't stick to magnet, and some of them are steel, which will. We'll just have to see. So if you don't have that, they actually come with circle stickers that are going to stick to the magnet with a sticky base that you stick on the back of the eyeshadow pan. They also sell these in small little squares as well for these other, because these are all squares, these are all circles. So we'll see. We're going to put this on top of the flat iron and see if we can kind of melt the pan and poke it through. Okay, so I flip this over and what I notice is that I can actually peel back this cardboard layer. And you can see how the part where it was over the pan is getting a little bit like the squares are revealing themselves a little bit more. You see that? So I'm gonna, now that I have the paper off because the sticker kind of got a little bit looser, I'm gonna put it back over the pan. Okay, it feels a little stickier, looking a little bit shiny, so my X-Acto knife can actually push down on here. Oh, that part came, no, that one came right out. So it's good that I have that little piece of plastic there. So do you see how it kind of pushed the palette out? And I can, now that it melted through, I can just remove it. Be careful because it's hot. Here, like that. This definitely takes a little bit of patience. I've seen some methods where you can actually put these in the oven and it will melt the whole thing. That one didn't really work out well for me, so I find that this it works better. I've also done this back in the day over a flame, like a candle flame, which I didn't like that method either because I found that this is like more consistent heat and I don't want to light anything on fire. Okay, so now that the plastic is getting shiny, so I know that it's melted and I can kind of push through. Oh, and that one fell right out too. So let's see if these stick on here. Yep, it sticks. You can clean the back of them off if you want with some brush cleaner. That's what I would recommend because the brush cleaner will get rid of like the sticky residue. Or if you have goof off, that works really well. You can also take a little mini label, like a sticker label, and put them on the back of the shadow if you want to know what the specific shade is, but I'm not really worried about that. But I have done that with like my individual MAC eyeshadows back in the day. Okay, so this is the aftermath. So all the shadows in here fit nice and tight in there, so I still have room. Hopefully I can fit these two palettes in there. So that is Urban Decay done. Now I'm moving on to Lorac. Okay, so I put this corner of the Lorac palette underneath my flat iron, and I just want to show you that it's actually starting to peel up because it's kind of like a thick layer between the actual palette and this. So that way the heat can get to the metal pans quicker. is now that the glue is kind of softened, I'm going to try to remove this back panel some more. So this will be much easier to work with. If you want, you could save these mirrors. So this is what we have left. And now I'm going to lay this on the flat iron and it should go much quicker. Okay, so with this one, I noticed that the heat isn't really melting, obviously, the paper. So what I ended up doing is, now that I know it's heated up the glue on the bottom, I carefully take my X-Acto knife and I remove the pan. This one's a little bit harder to do than the Urban Decay. This one is cracking. The matte shadows sometimes are softer. Oh shit, see that? Just gonna push it back down. I might have to fix that one. That sucks. Shite. You see that? All this cracked shadow. I'm going to try to repair that. But this is a risk that you take, y'all. Okay, so I find that when the heat kind of works, I'm able to kind of bend the palette carefully. This is definitely a shit show, but around, I'm able to kind of bend it and then just kind of push up. This is, you just have to be careful because there might be some casualties. But like you can see, like the corners kind of lifting. That's what you want, so that way you can actually reach these palettes much easier. So I'm taking anything that's poking out, and it helps to kind of get the palette knife under there too, because it's a little bit stronger. So these are all their Lorac palettes. So I had one casualty, but this one was kind of cracked already. So I'm just going to kind of smooth that over. Alright, anywhere where it's kind of like cracked, I'm just going to take a tissue, and this is going to just kind of smooth over the surface as well as sanitize it and make it a little bit neater looking. So I'm going to stick them right next to these guys. And I'm going to come back after with some Beauty So Clean sanitizing spray, because I did wash my hands, but I want to make sure these are just ready to go. Okay, so I kind of cleaned the palette up. I have a little bit more room for some of these Viseart shadows. I don't have room for all of them, but I'm going to stick what I can and then make some decisions to see if I want to get rid of some of the other shades. So those are the ones in the corner that I decided to get rid of, and then hopefully I can fit at least 6 or 7 of these in here. So I'm a little nervous about this Viseart palette. They're all mattes, they're delicate. I'm going to let it really try to melt through the plastic really good. And see what happens. Okay, so I noticed with the Viseart palette, it was not melting this thick plastic because the palette is kind of deep. So what I ended up doing is taking my X-Acto knife, and I'll show you in a second, and I just carefully kind of stuck it in the corner of the pan, like a tiny little gap, and I gently lifted it out because I think the glue holding it in was softened. So I'm going to show you that with this one real quick. So I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and really carefully, there's a little gap in the corner here, and I'm going to lift it like that. And that's the easiest way to depot these. This is actually way easier than I thought. So the X-Acto knife is good because it fits really, it's like a thin blade, so it fits in there pretty good. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to depot is this compact Urban Decay gorgeous Mundus eyeshadow. If I wanted to, I could actually stick that sticker on the back of the color. So let me see if that was enough. Oh, okay, well, anyways, I wanted to show you this. I kind of pre-did this. You have to pop the pan out. So in order to do it, I just took my X-Acto knife and I stuck it in the hinge right here. And I kind of just wiggled it and this whole thing pops out. This is what you get, so now it's easier to kind of melt through. So now, ooh, that was probably too long. This is kind of melting a little bit. But generally you can remove this sticker quite easily. And you can see the name, it kind of got burnt, but I'll still put it on the back there. So now I'm going to put that here, and once that plastic melts, I'm just going to push it through the same way that I did the other ones. Okay, so it looks more melted now. I can tell that there's kind of like these gaps in the little sides. The metal doesn't seem like it wants to melt. Maybe I can go ahead and gently stick my X-Acto knife. Yep, and I can lift it up. So it should pop right out. And once again, let me do that one more time gently. And you can see what I was saying, like it's kind of deep in there. So I'm going to stick the sticker back on here because it has the glue still. And there you go. Here is the final product. These shadows wouldn't fit, so I'm going to have to rethink the configuration with some of my other palettes. But yeah, final product. Yay!